Hello everyone, welcome to my political journalism news channel. The story for today is Russian forces have shelled Ukraine's second-largest city, rocking a residential neighbourhood, and closed in on the capital, Kyiv, in a 30 km convoy of hundreds of tanks and other vehicles. Talks aimed at stopping the fighting yielded only an agreement to keep talking. Amid ever-growing international condemnation, Russia found itself increasingly isolated 5 days into its invasion, while also facing unexpectedly fierce resistance on the ground in Ukraine and economic havoc at home. For the second day in a row, the Kremlin raised the specter of nuclear war, announcing that its nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missiles, submarines and long-range bombers had all been put on high alert, following President Vladimir Putin's orders over the weekend. Stepping up his rhetoric, Mr. Putin denounced the US and its allies as an empire of lies. Meanwhile, an embattled Ukraine moved to solidify its ties to the West by applying to join the European Union, a largely symbolic move for now, but one that is unlikely to sit well with Mr. Putin, who has long accused the US of trying to pull Ukraine out of Moscow's orbit. A top Putin aide and head of the Russian delegation, Vladimir Medinsky, said that the first talks held between the two sides since the invasion lasted nearly 5 hours and that the envoys found certain points on which common positions could be foreseen. He said they agreed to continue the discussions in the coming days. As the talks along the Belarusian border wrapped up, several blasts could be heard in Kyiv, and Russian troops advanced on the city of nearly 3 million. The vast convoy of armored vehicles, tanks, artillery and support vehicles was 25 kilometers from the center of the city, according to satellite imagery from Maxar Technologies. Video from Kyiv, Ukraine's second biggest city, with a population of about 1.5 million, showed residential areas being shelled, with apartment buildings shaken by repeated, powerful blasts. Flashes of fire and grey plumes of smoke could be seen. Footage released by the government from Kyiv depicted what appeared to be a home with water gushing from a pierced ceiling. What looked like an undetonated projectile was on the floor. Authorities in Kyiv said at least 7 people had been killed and dozens injured. They warned that casualties could be far higher. They wanted to have a blitzkrieg, but it failed, so they act this way, said 83-year-old Valentin Petrovich, who watched the shelling from his downtown apartment and gave just his first name and his Russian-style middle name out of fear for his safety. More than 500,000 people have fled the country since the invasion, another UN official said Monday, among millions who have left their homes. The Russian military has denied targeting residential areas despite abundant evidence of shelling of homes, schools and hospitals. Fighting raged in other towns and cities across the country. The strategic port city of Mariupol, on the Sea of Azov, is hanging on, said Mr. Zelensky advisor Oleksiy Arestovich. An oil depot was reported bombed in the eastern city of Sumy, in the seaside resort town of Berdyansk. Dozens of protesters chanted angrily in the main square against Russian occupiers, yelling at them to go home and singing the Ukrainian national anthem. They described the soldiers as exhausted young conscripts, frightened kids, frightened looks. They want to eat, Konstantin Malaletka, who runs a small shop, said by telephone. He said the soldiers went into a supermarket and grabbed canned meat, vodka and cigarettes. That is all for today's news. Thank you for watching to my channel. Please be sure to leave your comment and subscribe below for more news update.